Hello, welcome to AFL Tonight. I'm Drew Jones. These are our top stories. The Hawks front the tribunal in a bid to free co-captain Jai Nukem to tackle the Giants. The Blues turn to some new faces to tackle an old friend. We'll take you live to the SCG as the Swans hit the track. And Chris Scott slams the egregious injustice handed out to one of his young midfielders. There's also some big news coming out of the Pies on the injury front. It is great to have your company on AFL Tonight. We are just 48 hours away from opening round getting underway. And making news this Tuesday, well, Hawks star Jai Nukem, his trip to the tribunal is in a bid to lead Hawthorn in this side's season opener against GWS on Saturday. So David Zeta is following the case for us. David, good to see you. What's the latest?
Well, it's moved remarkably quick, Drew, so hopefully we can keep up this pace for the remainder of the season, because the tribunal's gone to deliberate after just over 30 minutes of the hearing. So they are now in deliberations over whether Jai Nukem's one-match ban for a dangerous tackle will stand, or if it will be thrown out or downgraded. So the Hawks said that this was not rough conduct, it wasn't careless in the circumstances, and that also, it wasn't unreasonable rather, and also that if it is rough conduct, it should be low impact rather than medium impact. Now, they have put a fair bit of onus on Ed Richards here. They say that a reasonable player in Nukem's position would have expected that Richards would have dropped the ball, even if it meant giving away a free kick, to try and protect himself and make sure he can put his arm out to the ground. The AFL says he would have used the opposite arm, the arm that was already being pinned, to do that, and so that is a moot point from the AFL's point of view. They say the tackle was unreasonable in the circumstances, it was excessive force, and it was not what a reasonable player would regard as prudent in the circumstances. So, as a result, we are now deliberating after just 30 minutes, and the AFL Tribunal has a big call to make. Does the Hawthorn co-captain, the newly minted co-captain, find himself free to face the Giants this week in opening round, or does he spend a week on the sidelines? The Hawks have made a really good case. The AFL has also done what it can. It's relying on the sort of stock standard arguments against dangerous tackles, which have been, of course, successful for the most part in recent years, particularly during that dangerous tackle crackdown. But the Hawks, as I said, they've done their best. Now the nervous wait to see if their co-captain is free to face the Giants this weekend.
All right, Zeets, appreciate the update. We'll catch you on AFL 360 a little bit later on Fox Footy for the full update. So Collingwood has ruled out skipper Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe ahead of their opening round clash with St Kilda. Moore had been racing the clock to be fit for the game against the Saints as he attempted to shrug off a calf complaint. He has been participating in full training, but he won't take on the Saints, with the Pies now hopeful their captain be ready for round one against Adelaide. Jeremy Howe is also battling a calf concern, with the club hopeful for a return for the defender in either round 1 or 2. Carlton has confirmed Jacob Wiedering will play in the season opener against the Swans on Thursday nights. He'll likely line up on former teammate Charlie Curnow. The Blues will have some new faces as well, including the much-hyped Jagger Smith.
It's one of the least surprising yet most exciting debuts in recent memory. 2024 pick 3, Jagger Smith to officially debut for the Blues.
Jagger, most people have been seeing him over the last couple of weeks and the impact that he can have on games, and probably how value he'll be to us in the short term and the long term.
He's been likened to Dacos, and I think it's a great comparison. The way he moved in his last pre-season game was incredible.
Jagger Smith had 37 disposals in Carlton's pre-season win over Geelong. He missed the entirety of 2025 with an ACL injury. Last year's pick 3 will also play his first game, defender Harry Dean. The Carlton defence tasked with stopping a Sydney forward line that includes former Blue Charlie Curnow.
I think everyone else is probably Charlie focused. I think we sort of don't make it about him. I've spent 4 years out here training and seeing what he can do, and obviously in game. So he's clearly got, he's certainly got X factor. There's no doubt about that.
He brings that real presence down forward. It's sort of like I don't want to put any pressure on him, but like a bit of a buddy presence.
Charlie Curnow is making himself at home in Sydney, but not yet surfing with Isaac Heaney.
No, he won't come down to the bubble down in Maroubra. He thinks it's too bogan, so he sticks to Tama and Bondi and those snobby places.
Curnow not the only man who'll be up against his former side on Thursday night, with Ollie Florent and Will Hayward to play for Carlton.
So it was tough seeing them go, but it's going to be on this Thursday, and I can't wait. I look forward to moments where hopefully we can bump into each other and you can have a wrestle and sort of muck around in that aspect. And For some reason, it's always if you can put a bigger shot on your mate, you try and do it.
We could have upwards of 10, 11 new players from how we finished last year.
Two teams with plenty of change, hoping for changed fortunes in the new season. Justin Edwards, Fox Sports News.
GWS and Hawthorn will both take depleted engine rooms into their clash in opening round this weekend. The Hawks are sweating on John Newcom's tribunal results with a wildcard option on the table to take his spot in the midfield. Sam Mitchell will have plenty of thinking to do ahead of Saturday's clash with the Giants, with the Hawks likely to be without two of their prime movers in the midfield.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure. Hopefully, I'd love to be. Hopefully, I can get off, and we have him this week. But yeah, I'm not too sure what the midfield will look like. We've obviously had a fair few guys go through it in the pre-season, and they're doing an amazing job and developing their games.
John Newcomb is facing a one-game ban. Will Day sidelined with a shoulder injury, and of course, James Worpel is now in Cats colours. Enter Josh Weddle, who trained with the midfield group on Tuesday and is firming for a spot in the guts.
Definitely, I'm a massive advocate for Weds. I'm probably the wrong guy to ask, but yeah, I love watching him go about it. The way he trains. If you guys watch him here, he's a unit. So yeah, love playing alongside him.
Connor Nash and Josh Ward will do lots of heavy lifting on Saturday, but they need another man in the middle, and Connor McDonald could be the prime candidate after a big pre-season.
We're family friends, so have always watched his career, and now to play alongside him and see, the way he's going, I'm super proud of him. So yeah, hopefully he can crack in there and have a really good year.
Josh Battle is set for game 150, and it comes against the Giants, who the Hawks knocked out of the finals last season. Battle isn't expecting any lingering animosity.
Not really, I don't think. Yeah, not really at all. But yeah, we know we need to be our best to beat GWS because they're a quality outfit.
Meanwhile, GWS have also been hit hard by absentees in their midfield. Tom Green out for the season with an ACL injury, while Josh Kelly won't return for quite some time after serious hip surgery.
I'm really optimistic about it. Our staff was really optimistic about it. The surgeon and all the specialists that we had conversations with were all very positive about things. There's enough examples in other sports now where it is a surgery that can, absolutely hold up in professional sport. So, feeling very positive.
The last time the two teams met, the Hawks dusted the Giants at MG Stadium by 19 points. All right, so much excitement ahead of the season opener between Carlton and Sydney at the SCG on Thursday. And the Swans are on the training track tonight as they fine-tune their preparations for the season opener against the Blues. Our reporter Justin Edwards is there. Justin, great to see you. Take it away. All right, it looks like we've got some audio issues there. Unfortunately, SCG will come back to Justin and Lockie McCurdy shortly. In the meantime, let's check in with the Cats. So Geelong coach Chris Scott says Tanner Bruin is ready to perform in his first AFL game in nearly a year and a half. Bruin missed the entirety of last season while facing criminal charges, which were dropped last November when the complainant admitted to lying. Scott says the 23-year-old is in a good headspace ahead of the opening round clash with Gold Coast.
He was always going to be a flexible player as well. We've taken the opportunity, through our training to look at him in positions behind the ball. But yeah, it's just fantastic for him to get out there and be able to concentrate on footy. After what is one of the most egregious injustices I can think of in the game. So to put that behind him, I think is positive for everyone.
Jeremy Cameron and Bailey Smith have been confirmed to play against the Suns after their respective injury concerns. While Cameron has struggled with a broken arm across the pre-season, Scott says the star forward is in great touch ahead of the season proper.
He was still suffering a little bit with that broken arm. It turned out that it was a pretty significant injury. But as always, with upper limb injuries, he was running, in his off season. So he's physically, from a running perspective, very well prepared. There's an argument to say he's as well prepared in that regard as he's ever been, certainly at his time at the Cats.
The Cats and the Suns only met once last season, with Scott's side winning by 24 points. That was in Geelong, though. They'll face off on Friday night at People's First Stadium. All right, AFL 360 is coming up shortly on Fox Footy. Jared Waitley and Gary Lyon will be joined by Patrick Dangerfield, Josh Dunkley, Ray Chamberlain and one of our favourites, Martin Brundle. That's from 6:30 Eastern. And plenty more to come on AFL Tonight. We'll head back to the SCG. And of course, there's a new era at the Bombers. We'll chat to the man leading from the front next. Welcome back to AFL Tonight. I'm Drew Jones. Nice to have your company. So we're just 48 hours away from the start of the AFL season, and it'll be with a bang at the SCG. The Swans are on the training track this evening as they fine-tune their preparations for their season opener against the Blues. So let's get back to the SCG and try again here. Our reporter Justin Edwards is there. Justin, what have you got for us?
Yeah, the atmosphere is building here at the SCG. The Swans have got the music playing, simulating a bit of noise that we expect to hear on Thursday night when the Swans take on Carlton. Lockie McCurdy from Code Sports is alongside me. Lockie, it's never always about one player, but there's so much focus on Charlie Curnow at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what Charlie Curnow can do here at the SCG. We saw him come out for training, look at these 50-metre arcs and almost licking his lips in excitement. I think he's so looking forward to getting out and taking on his former team on Thursday night. And this is his new home for the next 5 years. And I think Swans fans will be hoping he kicks a lot of goals here.
And of course, up against his former side, the club that he kicked over 300 goals for and won a couple of Colemans for in Carlton. He's not the only Swans recruit, though. Not getting nearly as much publicity are Jai Sarong and Malcolm Roses, a couple of depth players who we think that they might be even in the best 23 come Thursday.
Yeah, I think both players have proven over the past fortnight of match simulation that they've definitely got a role to play this season. Malcolm Roses is that high-pressure forward, can create a turnover, kick a goal, and that's going to be a problem for opposition defences with the ball in their own half. And then Jai Sarong, yes, he's been recruited as a kind of a key defender, but he can also play in the wing, as we've seen for the Swans, particularly in that game against the Giants. So it's some good flexibility for Dean Cox to have.
And for the Swans overall this season, their second year under Dean Cox, grand finalists in 2022, grand finalists in 2024. They've gone a bit of an up and down,
Yeah.
so via the pattern, this is supposed to be an up year again for the Swans, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, Dean Cox, he had so many injuries last year. He never really got his best team on the park until sort of the second half of the year. He's got pretty much a full-strength squad to start the season with, which is a nice luxury to have. I think they'll be eyeing off those top four spots, definitely. A couple of home finals here at Sydney, and they'll be looking for a grand final berth because they've got the list to do it.
And this place, when the SCG, the reason they've got the Swans have got the music going now is it can just rock at the SCG on a Thursday night. We're expecting something like 40,000. The Swans are very popular in Sydney, even when they're not doing well like last year. They get the big crowds.
Absolutely. I know AFL CEO Andrew Dillon said that it's sort of trending towards that sellout target that they're hoping for kind of all the opening round games to make sure it's a success. And, I mean, Swans, Carlton, the Charlie Curnow, the Florent, the Hayward factor, it's going to be must-watch.
So it's all to play for. Thursday night, cannot wait for it, Drew. Thursday night on Fox Footy, the Swans and Carlton to open the season.
Yes, thank you, Justin and Lockie. We're not far away from the season getting underway. Opening round at the SCG, it is the Charlie Curnow Cup. All right, Andy McGrath says he's excited to lead Essendon as captain this season. The new skipper is bullish on what the Bombers can achieve, warning a forgotten star is ready to return with a bang. We caught up a little earlier today.
Andy, appreciate your time. Tell us about the captaincy, what the experience has been like for you so far.
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously a new role for me, something I'm really excited about and really honoured to be in this position. I understand the importance of the role, how significant it is for all Essendon people and our footy club currently. I feel really comfortable with where everything sits. I feel the full trust of my teammates and our fans that I'm the person for the job. It's been amazing having Zach in my corner through this process too, to really educate me on what it is to be an Essendon captain, the amazing learnings he's had over his 3 years in the role, and I've used him as a sounding board really well. So far so good.
What's the one thing that you've noticed in particular that it's really added to your work schedule?
There's obviously a few extra commitments. I think that was always expected, but I think a lot of the feedback I've just been getting is just keep backing myself in. You're voted into these positions because people trust you and people want you in those spots. So I feel really at ease with that. It obviously comes with uncertainty and nervousness around, am I ready for it, this, that and whatever, but I feel really well supported by a leadership group, by Brad and the whole footy club, board down. So it's been a nice transition and really excited for the season.
So throughout the pre-season, you've had a couple of chances to get out on the park, and there's just been so many more numbers available to pick. Like, how have you felt out in the field, looking around and seeing your teammates fit and firing, and what this group can achieve this season?
Yeah, we're really excited. I think last year we were really unlucky with injuries. Quite a few sort of non-contact or contact long-term injuries in the form of ACLs. Harry Jones with a freak ankle injury that you just can't expect to happen very often, and then a lot of soft tissue. So to have a lot of those guys pretty much fully healthy, the ACL guys are close to returning. And then a whole host of guys around my age that I played a lot of footy with over the journey, like Darcy Parish, Kyle Langford, Zach Reid, who are all fit and firing at the moment. Feels like somewhat of a different lineup. I think there's a lot of competition for spots, which is only healthy, and I'm really excited to put what we've been working on show on Friday night, and we're really excited to take on a great team.
You mentioned Darcy Parish has had a great pre-season. When you put him in the team, all of a sudden the midfield looks absolutely stacked. Like, can you take us through that midfield mix? Who will see you roll through that?
Yeah, Darcy's a huge piece of that. I think we haven't really seen the best of Darcy for the last few years, with his body letting him down a little bit, but the club has managed him brilliantly. He's feeling really good. He's got a great mentality around what it takes for him to be out on the park, and he's teaching so many of our young guys how to move, how to run, where he goes, and reminding a lot of people that he's still well and truly got it. He's one of my best mates, obviously. I've been close with him since the day I walked into the club, so to see him out there enjoying what he does is really special. And yeah, in terms of the midfield mix, like, we got a good mix of senior guys with him and Zach through there, and then probably a trio of younger guys that are really exciting for our footy club, and guys like Archie Roberts, Sam Durham, Jai Caldwell bring a different edge to that midfield with the balance of Zach and Darcy, obviously. But yeah, a very different look to what we saw for much of last year.
When you went into the mid-season draft last year, injury crisis, bringing all those guys into the club, you probably weren't expecting to get a number one starting ruck out of it. Can you tell us about Lockie Blackiston's pre-season?
Yeah, Lockie's been super. He's a mature age guy. I think he's 26 or 27, so similar age to me. And he came in pretty unknown. Not many people knew much about him. All we knew straight away is that he was very athletic, very skillful, and probably had what it took straight away. So he played as a full-back for us last year. Just due to injuries, we didn't really have a key back for a fair period of the back end of the year, and had never played full-back, and played on some of the best players in the comp and held his own for the most part. So we were really optimistic about what he could do, and got a few opportunities late in the year to apply his trade into the spot that he's been training for his whole life, and really showed that he had what it takes. So the pre-season, he spent the time learning our system, learning our game plan, and I think the new ruck rules really helped him. He's super athletic, he moves very well, and we're really excited to see how much he can grow over the year.
Really excited for round one up against Hawthorn, mate. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Andy, we appreciate your time. All right, St Kilda is warning it may take a few rounds before its new look side finds its rhythm. The Saints were the busiest team in the off-season, landing experienced recruits Tom De Koning, Jack Silvani, Liam Ryan and Sam Flanders. It has them tipped for a finals return after a two-year absence. The veteran Mason Wood says it'll take some time before they find their groove.
I think we've seen that multiple times in sports, that teams they drag in XYZ player, and all of a sudden everyone goes, they're going to make it happen, which it's just not the case, because it's a team sport. So you need everyone to, like teams that have been together for a long time, know how each other play and feed off each other really well. So I'm not saying that's going to take 5 or 6 years, but it potentially won't be from the get-go, and we've just got to keep being on that journey of being process-driven and keep getting better week to week.
Saints are monitoring the fitness of co-captain Callum Wilkie ahead of Sunday's match against Collingwood. Wilkie has a corked calf and he hasn't missed a game since making his debut in 2019. There's been no night terrors for Touk Miller as he aims for a rematch with Geelong tagger Oisin Mullen. Midfielder was well contained by the Irish Cat in their last meeting, a dour round 13 defeat on the road. Miller is ready to go for round 2 should he be targeted again.
I don't know about nightmares, but he did a great job last time we played them. Definitely keen to see what they do this time round. Obviously going to be prepared for if he does come to me, what that looks like, as you would for any player. So yeah, I think he's going to have a few tools up my sleeve ready to go.
Gold Coast will be without suspended Jed Walter and the injured Matt Rowell nursing a broken finger. The reigning Brownlow medalist isn't due back until round 4. One man central to the Lions' success in recent seasons has been Will Ashcroft. At just 21 years of age, he already has 2 premiership medals and 2 Norm Smiths in his back pocket. Brisbane midfielder caught up with David Zeta.
Well, I think the feeling when you win is amazing. Like, obviously it's the ultimate achievement and what everyone plays footy to do. So I think when you feel it once and then twice, you just want to keep chasing that feeling again and again. And I think a lot of people who have been through it would say the same. So I think, we're just sort of chasing that again. Obviously the three-peat is there. I guess it's the carrot that we're sort of chasing, but we're not focusing on that specifically, more on the process and what gets us there.
You've had some new recruits, obviously Draper and Oscar Allen. Some injury has gotten in the way a bit, but what have they shown so far?
Yeah, they've both been amazing, to be honest. Obviously, both mature age. Oscar's been a captain at West Coast. Drapes has had leadership positions at Essendon, so they've both got those qualities that brought in straight away. Obviously, when people come into a new environment, usually need time to sort of acclimatise a bit, but they've just been amazing from the get-go. Organised dinners, do all sorts of things away from the club, so they're great for the culture. Obviously, Drapes has gone really well. He'll still be good to go, hopefully in the first couple of rounds. But Oscar's been amazing. He's really provided a lot to our forward line, and we're looking forward to seeing how he goes.
I know you've probably been asked this a lot, but the off-field stuff that Lachie Neale was spoken about him in the off-season, when something like that happens and so many people are talking about it, how do you address it as a club? Like, what impact does it have internally?
No, there's not much, to be honest. I think it's a personal matter. He's sort of, dealing with that, has dealt with that and dealing with that at the moment. And he's a professional. He hasn't brought that into the football club. He's really focused on his football. He's locked in. And a lot of the boys are sort of just moving on. And we've got a really great culture, and we're really excited for what's to come this year.
And the captaincy discussion, there's so many different captains and co-captains we're seeing. What do you make of your new leadership mix that's coming to the fore in 26?
Yeah, it's interesting. No, it's pretty cool, to be honest. Like, I was kind of hoping that it was going to be a three-man, three co-captains. Obviously, Harris is up to it. He's done it before. He's amazing. But I think the other two are just as deserving. So it's great they actually went with that. So, Huey. But I think the good thing about it, they all provide different things. They've got different personalities. They lead differently. They train differently. They live differently. So I think they can provide a lot in that sense. And
State of Origin, have you got that sorted out? Next year, do you know what the go is?
I don't know. There's a few people here I might have to have a conversation to try and sort it out. But I'm not sure what they think. I'm not sure what it'll look like. Don't think many people know what it'll look like next year. So maybe I have to have those conversations and see where it gets me.
Thank you, Will. All right, just recapping that news from Collingwood, with skipper Darcy Moore and Jeremy Howe ruled out of their clash on Sunday with St Kilda. Moore has been racing the clock to be fit for opening round as he attempted to shrug off a calf complaint. He has been participating in full training but won't take on the Saints at the G, with the Pies hopeful their captain will be ready for round one. Veteran defender Jeremy Howe is also battling a calf injury. The club is hopeful for return in either round one against the Crows or after Collingwood's bye in round 3. All right, thanks for joining us on AFL Tonight this evening. Make sure you stay across all the latest on Fox Sports News, including the tribunal hearing involving Hawthorn's Jai Nukem. Meanwhile, on Fox Footy, it's time for AFL 360 with Jared Waitley and Gary Lyon. Enjoy.
Oh, we got through what we wanted. We got minutes into our guys and played a hardened opposition, step in the right direction.
We were looking at the forward line of teams that do. Pretty happy with how they operate.
Yeah, quite a few things. We saw Jamara get another full game. Jed Walter even spent some time in the ruck for us around the ball, looked good. Zeke Ulan showed some more signs as well, and Christian to play some more minutes with our sort of complete midfield was some positives for us.
So Christian played midfield just about. What's the plan for him? Is he going to play like a much full-time midfielder, or is that going to change?
Yeah, he'll play a bit of both. His weapons are around the contest and ahead of the ball. We feel like Bailey Humphrey can do that for us as well. So, we'll mix and match. We feel like we've got a good mix in there, and Will Powell showed some good signs again for a couple of quarters. So, I think we'll be pretty fluid with the mix.
You mentioned Zeke. Has he done enough to get a look next week?
He's put his name up, hasn't he? Yeah. He looks capable at the level. He hasn't looked out of form there. So for him to play against the hardened, two-time premiership team and look like he's an AFL player was good for us.
Jamara sort of, he almost marked about 6 of them, but then his work sort of around that, like around the goal, just little touches here and there, and just the work rate. How would you rate this, how industrious he was?
Yeah, it was great for him to play another full game. We have to remember he hasn't played footy for over 400 days, so for him to fit into our system and get used to our ball movement, although, you know, from the mid's perspective, we could have used the ball maybe a bit better inside 50 to give him some better looks. But once again, we're thrilled with the work he's done. We understand he's got more work to do, but some positive signs around goals.
Leo Lombard hurt himself this game last year and looks shot out of the gun.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. I think he kicked a few goals today and put some pressure on. So again, he's one putting his hand up, and he's looking like he's going to be a good AFL player for us in that front half. So he played well tonight.
Do you reckon you've had enough time to learn to play without Matt Rao? Like you haven't missed him for how long is he, 4 or 5 years or something? Got enough cohesion there, do you think?
Yeah, he's a hard player to replace. Obviously, we can't replace, you know, Matt Rao. So, like we mentioned, our mix through there, we saw a little bit of Will Graham, Bailey Humphrey, Christian Petrarca, and Al Davies got another opportunity tonight. So, yeah, we'll continue to work through those things, see where that lands for next Friday.
Yep. And Ethan's fine. Is he ticking all the boxes?
Yep. Yeah, he's progressing well. Yep.
Thanks.
Beautiful.